All right, we good, we good. Hello, welcome in, everyone. Oh god, I should turn this down. Hello. Welcome in, everyone. It's been a couple weeks. Glad to see some people back. Who do I see in the chat? I see Killer CH. I see Drew. I see Carmelian. I see Salty. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Oh, actually, let me do a thing. Welcome to the stream, y'all. Today, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be talking about advanced color schemes. So I'm giving you guys my my university education for free. Sorry, give me a second. But yeah, okay. Hello, Kiara. Welcome in. Hey Jessie, how are you today? I'm doing all right. I'm a little sleepy. I've been sleepy for a bit. To be fair, I've been sleepy for a little while. But hey, I don't go back to school until February. So I got 3 weeks to do like nothing. But that's not true. I'll be working on other things. But yeah, hoping you're all doing well today. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about advanced color schemes. You'll also notice program difference. We're gonna be working in Clip today. Oh yeah, free education. Yeah, let's go. We're gonna be working in Clip today. Why? Okay, let me see. It auto does this. Okay, let me just switch back to. Okay, working in Clip. Just because we wanted to try some new stuff for the new year. We're probably going to do this more often. Like, we're going to start to cycle through different programs rather than, I need to make this a PSD. This is stream 44. We're going to be cycling through different programs rather than working in only Medibang nowadays. Just because I want to see how you guys feel with other programs, and see which ones you like me working in best. And also just because, you know, I get kind of bored of Medibang sometimes. So because I don't actually use it that often. So if you actually want to know the programs that I work with the most, it is Clip and Photoshop are the ones that I use the most time in my free time. Yeah, so we're gonna be working in Clip today. I'm gonna be figuring it out as much as you guys are probably gonna be figuring it out. Because even though I use Clip more than Medibang, I'm still not great with it. So we're gonna be kind of figuring that out together. But yeah, before we get going, let's do what we always do before we get going, and let's talk a bit about the studio. Where is this thing? Oh my god, it's been 2 weeks. I've already lost my mind. I forget how to do everything. Because if you didn't know, our growing community is filled with tons of art nerds, and we art nerds have to stick together. So if you're an art nerd too, be sure to check out the links to our social media in the description below, and check out our website for our class offerings, where you can get critique, guidance, and encouragement from our instructors. Because we're not just a YouTube channel, we are an art school too. So if you'd like to support us so we can keep making free content, consider supporting us on Patreon for as little as $2 per month, where you can get access to tons of perks like my working files, critique sessions, and a huge discount on our classes that have a limited amount of spots. So be sure to check those out before they are gone. All right. At least I remember how to do that part. I know the basic colors. Am I in the right place? Yeah, you're in the right place. You know the basic colors. We're going to be doing the funky stuff today. Hello, Ray. Welcome in. It amazing to see you work in Clip more often since I plan on getting it this year. Excellent. Clip is great, but so complicated. I love the complicated stuff. I'm a huge fan of that. Oh, and hello, Ian. Welcome in. Is that the Ian that I think it is? I don't know. Anyway, hello. Welcome into the stream. So we're gonna be talking about advanced color schemes. That's why I want Jessie to use it. Yeah, a lot of people have been requesting Clip actually. So I was like, hey, why not? Let's do that. I should rename my layer. Anyway, we're gonna be talking about advanced color schemes. I've talked about normal color schemes in the past. Like we've talked about like the very basic color schemes. So I'm not gonna go too intense. Hello, Chipster, welcome in. I'm not gonna go too intense with the basic ones. We're just gonna go over them again. I've heard I'm famous. Yes, you are. Okay, so it is this Ian I'm thinking of. Hello. Same name. Same. I use it, but hardly know how to use it properly. Alright, yeah, that's fair enough. So let's go over the basic schemes again, just in case you don't know them. I'm not gonna go like super crazy into them. Actually, one of them you might not know, but we'll talk about it anyway. So I'm not gonna write anything down for it. let's go over the basic schemes first. These are the ones that you probably learn in class if you get to high school. If you're in elementary school, you might know, or elementary middle school, you might know a few of these. High school, you definitely know all of these if you've taken anything above grade 9 art. Oh, we've got a famous person in chat. Whoa. No, these are just people I know. But hello, welcome in. Sorry, that sounded degrading. Anyway. Okay, so we're going to be starting with the basic schemes. First one we're going to be talking about, I don't think I've actually covered this one because I didn't realize there were two separate ones. So this one is achromatic. Achromatic is really easy. Achromatic just means there is literally no color. So some people would say like, oh, this is monochromatic. This is actually not monochromatic. This is achromatic, which means that there is no hue whatsoever. So this is black and white. Your black and white color scheme is achromatic. So this is the one that's just like no color whatsoever. I'm going to zoom through these. These are not the ones we're focusing on today. There's a history? Yes, there's a history. Thank God. Next one we're going to be talking about, next one that's considered basic is the monochromatic scheme. Monochromatic, which is just one hue. So if I were to just kind of continue with this, it's the same blue, right? If I chose this blue, it's the same one, right? I don't shift anything on the, what's this, the hue wheel at all. I just change the value. So it's just the value of the same hue is shifting over and over. That's what monochromatic is. So monochromatic does have hue. Achromatic does not have hue, right? Achromatic has like absolutely no color to it whatsoever. It's completely black and white, but monochromatic will have a hue to it. Have I heard of that color? I don't think I have. I'm too scared to say it out loud. I have not taken anything above grade 9 art, but I did look at cool art pieces and went, ooh, complimentary. Yes, it's always the best feeling when like you feel smart after doing art for a bit. I have an art history course that I had to take, and I watched a playthrough for, I don't remember what the game was called, but it was by the same people who made like Until Dawn and Man of Medan. It was one of those like smaller ones. It was the one that had Ashley Tisdale in it, and I don't remember what the game was called. But I saw the artwork and I saw like the time period. I'm like, that's Mesopotamia. So that's ancient Mesopotamia. Hello, Holly and San. Welcome in. Say it. I don't want to. I'm too scared. I don't want to butcher it, or I'm gonna get got. You know how many times I've been like D's nutted by my students? Like, it's like, hey Jessie, you want to say this for me? And I'm like, no, I don't trust you. Okay. Achromatic, monochromatic. Next color scheme that we've probably heard of is analogous. Analogous. That took me forever to learn how to spell. Analogous is basically just a few colors on the wheel next to each other. So if we take like, it's usually 3 or more. So if we have red, the next color might be an orange. Actually, I'm going to shift that a little bit. It will be an orange. And then if I want a little bit more, then it's like a yellow-orange. And I shift it a bit more, then it's like a... Or sorry, it's a red-orange, and I shift it a bit more, and then it's a yellow-orange. Then I shift it a bit more, and it's like a yellow, right? So this is analogous, right? It goes, ooh, wow. Clip's colors are bright. So it's like if we're moving in one direction across the color wheel art. So they're all kind of clumped together. They usually look really good together. Last was the same shortcut? It's not. I need to fix that then. So it all goes in generally one same direction, right? So if we start at, say, our first color, it's the same deal anywhere on the color wheel. Say if we started with blue, right, then we might go to, we might start shifting over towards the green. So if we go blue, cyan, green, that kind of general direction. Or if we go in the other direction, we could go blue, violet, magenta, red, kind of that general direction, right? But they all have to be next to each other. Those colors tend to look really, really nice next to each other. It's very hard to mess up an analogous color scheme. Like, you can't. There's almost no way to mess up an analogous color scheme. And that's why a lot of people like them. But they can get really boring. So it just depends on what you want. I've gotten you twice with those jokes. Yes, you have. 100 hours of live viewing, Justin, I'll say it. Do you know what? Salty might have that. Salty's been here for a long time. 2 years. Salty's been here for a long time. Pizzas are analogous. You're actually correct. Pizzas are analogous. Among Us. Hello, Daniello. And Galaxy, hello. Welcome in. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Pizza is an analogous color scheme because because brown is it's considered a neutral, but brown is a derivative of orange or yellow or red, that kind of area. Yeah, no, you're right. Okay. Monochromatic, monochromatic, analogous, complementary. This is the one that I love. I love complementary. Actually, I love a branch of complementary. We'll get into that. So the next one is complementary. The beautiful thing about Clip Studio is that it has this little wheel in the corner. So complementary colors are colors that are directly across from each other. Now this wheel over here is an RGB wheel, so not an RYB, which is the one that you are probably used to if you have anything grade 9 and below in art, right? In school they teach you the color wheel. What are the primary colors? Red, yellow, blue. That's not true. Red, yellow, blue are the primary colors of your RYB color wheel, which is a very traditional, outdated wheel. Generally, when we work with digital work, we look for the RGB wheel instead. So your primary colors are now red, green, and blue. And then the same with CMYK, right? If your primaries in CMYK, which is oh my god, what's it called? It's the contemporary artist's wheel, because even contemporary artists traditionally will use CMY, which your primary colors then would be magenta, cyan, and yellow. We're working with RGB right now, though, so complementary are the colors that are directly across from each other on the wheel. My favorite complementary combination with RGB is red and cyan. A lot of people don't like red and cyan. I love red and cyan. So it's the two colors that are directly across from each other on the color wheel, and generally, even though they're complementary, we want to make sure that they're fairly balanced, so they're not too harsh on the eyes. Let's go kind of like this deal, right? So usually you want one color to be kind of dull, a little bit darker, the other color to be a lot brighter. That brighter color will be generally where your eyes lead to first because it is a lot brighter and will be used in a lot of smaller amounts. You'll see this a lot with think of any kind of, oh my god, what's it called? Think of any kind of concept art that you'll see in like video games, like more R-rated video games. If you think of like God of War, Detroit Become Human, all that fun jazz, if you look at any of their concept work, the color scheme that you'll see the most often is a well, we haven't talked about that scheme yet, but it generally is like in the complementary schemes, and it's most likely going to be yellow blue, orange cyan, kind of around that area, right? It's always going to be that, where the orange or the yellow is like a very small amount, so everything else is going to be like a dull dark blue. That's a very common scheme. You'll notice that. That's like the concept artist's favorite scheme ever. How much for new wheels? 50,000 or 200 hours watch time. Oh, Netra, welcome in. Glad to have you in. So skin tones are neutral since they're a shade of brown and orange. Good to know. Yes, so skin tones. Actually, thank you for bringing that up, Kiara. If you'll notice, whenever you're wearing an outfit, with most people, every color of clothing will go with them, right? If you ever wondered why, like, if you draw somebody in a like an outfit, there is never a color that you go like, oh, that doesn't look amazing with that color scheme. It's because skin tones are neutrals. So neutrals will go with everything. It's the same deal with like orange and or sorry, the same deal with like white and black goes with everything, gray goes with everything. It's because it's a neutral. So because skin tones are like a derivative of brown generally, it's a neutral, so it'll go with everything. The wheel serves as a great plate. Yes, it's delicious. The classic Hulk green with purple pants. Yeah, that's a funky one. That's the very like, yep, complimentary right across. I'm smart. Yeah, you are. Woo! I just tried to eat a carrot and nearly blew a piece of it out my nose when I coughed. Oh no. Hope you're okay. Okay, I don't know what the shortcut for lasso is on clip. That's okay. I'll change it later because it's not L. Okay. Complementary, then it is triadic. Oops. Whoops. Oh, I should have been split complementary. That's okay. I'm gonna have to change all of these shortcuts. I'm sorry, clip users. So I guess I won't be teaching you what the shortcuts are. So triadic. 200 hours of watch time. How much for new wheels? 80,000. I don't know. To be fair, Okay, one of my units in university, before I go to this next one of my units in university, straight up, I learned color theory for half a year. It was like for 4 months straight. It was honestly my most interesting class. It was the one textbook that I read every single week. I had a lot of reading to do. If you're wondering, I had a textbook, or I still have that textbook. I still need to use it. It is 1,200 pages. It's over 1,200 pages. The PDF was like almost, it was like 500 to 600 megabytes because it's huge. I never read that textbook. That was a history textbook. My textbook that I read all the time was my color theory textbook because that thing was so interesting. I love color theory. I love the nitty gritty of like the scientific aspect of color theory. It's like learning about that, learning about all these advanced color schemes, learning about Chevreul's rule of color interaction. That stuff was so interesting. Like I could go on for hours about color theory. It's emuting default. Thank you, Oz, and welcome in. I've heard of the Triad. They're in Rush Hour 3. So true. That's why my alien characters need to have more monotone clothes. They could. See, the thing with sci-fi is that sci-fi is very monochromatic. If you think about it, like a lot of sci-fi is not very colorful because like they go with like the oversimplification in sci-fi. That's why I kind of like the more the cyberpunky aspect of sci-fi instead, where they go with neons instead. I'm a huge fan of neons, so I love that kind of aesthetic. But I've always been more of a steampunk person myself. Art school sounds terrifying. It's horrifying, us. Run. It's terrifying. Okay, triadic schemes. Like Ian said, Rush Hour 3. But triadic schemes they'll make an equilateral triangle on the color wheel. So if we kind of look over here, the very basic triadic scheme, most people when they think triadic, they think of the RYB wheel, which, would be like red, yellow, blue would be a triadic scheme. That's a traditional triadic scheme. Technically, a more modern one would be magenta, cyan, yellow. If we go off of the what's it called? The contemporary artist's wheel. I don't know why I'm looking up at the top of one of my screens when I have a tablet with a screen on it. I don't know what I'm doing. Right. So it'll make an equilateral triangle. It'll be either your 3 primaries, your 3 secondaries, 3 of your tertiaries, because there is more than 3 tertiary colors. Art school, okay, I go to a university, right? So it's very, very theory-based. For those of you who don't know, the difference between art university and art college is very, very hands-on. Art university is very theory-based. I've been to both. So art college was very, very hands-on. I learned like none of this in college. And then now I'm in university and it was the very first thing they drilled into us. So it's like, it's very, very different. Triangular schemes. Valid. I think, yeah, because like, I'm trying to think of which one you're talking about because, you know what, you might be thinking of split complementary, which is the last one we're going to go into for the basic ones. Gonna go ahead, download a triangle PNG from Google, take it for a spin. So true. You can definitely do that. I love triadic schemes. Triadic schemes are meant to be like a lot brighter. They're meant to be a bit more like quote unquote childish. That's the way that people call it. Ooh, alt is still eyedropper. That's good to know. Steampunk outfits are better than any other outfit. Super true, Detra. The thing with steampunk is that steampunk is based in old Victorian fashion. And the thing with steampunk is what taught me how to work with ruffles. When I was younger, I hated doing ruffles. And then as I got older, I got really into steampunk. And I was like, I really need to learn how to draw ruffles. And then like suddenly I became really good at ruffles because I just kept on drawing steampunk dresses over and over. So now it's like ruffles are like in the back. Ruffles are like my second language. I love drawing anything with complex outfits. I say as I draw a dress with so many details, my hand is on life support. Metro, no. Triadic colors don't sound like they'd work together, but they really do looking at them. Super true. I think that's the same with a lot of these next color schemes, the more advanced ones, once we get to that. Is monochromatic complementary? Okay, the last one is split complementary. This one's weird. So this one's kind of hard to... I should have grabbed a picture of a colors wheel. You know what? I'm going to do that real quick. Let me do that real quick. I should have prepped this. Definitely not going to my textbook right now. My old color theory textbook. The thing is that this textbook is free for everyone. My prof was like, he doesn't want us to pay for the textbook anymore. So he put it online for everybody. So like anybody can access the textbook. So if you join the Discord, maybe I'll post a link to my textbook. Shuffle's color interaction, color harmonies. Oh, there it is. Page 85. Yes, if you join the Discord, you can get access to my textbook. Where are these thingies? Am I dumb? Where did I get this from? Whoa, I don't know where I got this wheel from. You know what we're gonna do? Hang on. Because I have my notes open in another window. Okay. I'm gonna put this layer underneath these. Yes. Yeah, because we're gonna need this for the future wheels anyway. This is the CMYK wheel, so this is what it looks like in terms of where the colors go. I know nothing about art. Take none of my comments as actual engagement. Okay. Oops. I was younger, I hated doing ruffles. I still hate doing ruffles when I'm older. That's valid too. I don't know a lot of. Here's the thing with me is that I love to do a lot of what people hate. That's the thing with me. Like anybody who knows me long enough, Metro would know. Ray would know. Anybody who knows me long enough is like, yeah, anything that I hate, most artists hate doing, I love doing. I'm a huge fan of foreshortening. I love drawing hands and feet. Backgrounds are something I grew a love for back when I was 18 or 19. I love really intense color theory, crazy outfits. Like I love intense ruffles and folds, colding folds. Oh my god, so satisfying. I am a masochist for art only. So anything that an artist hates doing, I probably love doing. Full Kirby. How would you mix color wheels though? That's the thing, is that usually artists will choose one or the other. Like they won't actually work with more than one color wheel. How do you create a skin color? I always struggle with it. So skin tones tend to be in this area. So if you kind of start from this orangey color, kind of go down to a near yellow, kind of in this range. And they generally tend to be in this area, kind of like this. They kind of create an oval, almost. Cooler skin tones tend to lean more to the yellow. And then more, or no, sorry, colder tends to lean more to the red. Warmer tends to lean more to the yellow. But you tend to want to go in this general area, kind of like, oh goodness, kind of like in the deep reds to the kind of like dull oranges. What I hate Starless Seas Banner. Yeah, you guys definitely should not go listen to Starlost Seas on YouTube at 5 p.m. Eastern Central Time on Mondays. If a character is basically just a hand, right? Wild. Yeah, technically, yeah. Well, for now he is. Okay, split complementary. Now we're actually getting back into it. So split complementary, I needed the wheel in order to demonstrate this. So split complementary, so you know how normal complementaries work. So if we had cyan and orange directly across from each other, instead of it being directly across, you go across and then you split it up. So you get these two colors. So instead, the three colors within this scheme would be cyan, yellow, orange, and red. Right? So that would be your color scheme. Instead of directly across from one another, it would take one and then split it off. That's your split complementary. So your split complementary, if I were to take this color scheme, I'm gonna hue shift just a little bit, even though technically I shouldn't be, but whatever. It's the same deal with complementary. You gotta pick your color that's like a little bit brighter. Pick your colors that are a little bit brighter. And those will be your accent colors, while the others remain as underlying colors. or any of your favorite podcasting platforms. Super true. You can listen on Radio Public. You can listen on Apple Podcasts. You can listen on Spotify. Become a Star Wars. Is it M? Oh, it is. Why is M the... Oh, marquee. Because I'm used to that being just the marquee tool. That makes sense. Okay. So those are our basic schemes. These are the basic color schemes, right? These are the ones that if you took anything under grade 9 art, you should know. Oh, I can't do that. That's not a thing that's on here anymore. Is it this then? Oh, it is. Okay, so Clips handles the same as Medibang. Okay. You don't have the straight draw across. That's not something you guys have. I bet if I hold like Alt or Control at the same time, though, it'll snap. I'm just playing with colors on a canvas now. 10 out of 10 info. Yes, it is. Jessie, I'm starting to notice a trend of very dark, cool colors and very bright, warm colors. That tends to be the case. Because darker colors are stronger in hue compared to lighter colors. If you've ever noticed, thank you for bringing that up, Kiara. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I guess I will. So if you'll notice, if you've ever noticed, if you have paints, right, when you mix, say if you wanted to mix like purple, you know, red and blue makes purple. When we mix that, notice that the blue tends to be a lot stronger than the red, so you need to mix in a lot more red than blue. Or if you're trying to mix like yellow with red, you need a lot more yellow than red. That's because those deeper, colder colors tend to be a lot stronger. So usually you want those deeper, colder colors to take over the canvas compared to the warm colors, because of their difference in strength and their gamut strength or whatever. It has something to do with oh no, it has something to do with the cones in your eyes. There's a scientific explanation for it. I don't remember what it is. My prof is angry at me right now. Okay. Turns out I missed like 50% of grade 9 art. That's okay. This is why we're here. We have a more basic color video too. This is just me going over the wacky stuff. So this is the new stuff. This is the stuff that you get in university education. I'm giving you my university education for free. You're welcome. I love these schemes. I was a really big fan of them. The first one we're going to be talking about is my absolute favorite. I'm a huge fan of this scheme. Can I do this? Oh, yes I can. Let's go, boys. Because I'm going to need this a few times. I'm going to be copying this over a few times. Okay, this first color scheme is called the double split complementary. I love this color scheme. Screen becomes longer by 3 hours just because I'm here. I'm only allowed to be here for... Oh, this is the wrong... Oh, yeah, this is not my brush set. This is my brush set. There we go. I'm only supposed to be here for 2 hours, so I'm on a clock. This is double split. I love this scheme. This is my favorite of the split complementaries. Just because it's a little bit more advanced, it's a little bit more intense. So darker colors are stronger than if I had to rate my brain based on the colors, it'd be white. Sick. Thank you, you're so kind, no worries. New colors like Blorange, quoting Cricket Green from Big City Greens. Blorange. Oh, blood orange? That's like a red orange. I hate blood orange. Only because of its name. It's the most pretentious name ever. It's red. It's a red. That's basically what it is. At this rate, you can just choose random colors and stumble into a color scheme. Oh, you'll laugh making that comment for the next one. So double split complementary. So think of your split complementary, right? If we have blue or cyan and orange again. This time, if we took blue cyan, or cyan blue, I guess, and then yellow orange. This is our double split. So double split is taking 2 of the adjacent colors. It makes like a kind of thin X on your color wheel, right? And it creates this nice balance sort of deal, right? So this one is similar to split. Oh, I should put this on another line split. Let me just do the split. Split complementary. But both sides. are split. Makes like a thin X. So this split complementary is more nuanced. And detailed. Adds more depth. Right, so a double split complementary is very similar to a split complementary, but both sides are split. So it creates this thin X across the board. So it's a little more nuanced, a little bit more detailed, and then adds more depth to your pieces overall. Right, if you just work with a split complementary, you're kind of limiting yourself. If you're just working with a complementary, you're just working with 2 colors. Split complementary, you get 3, but it's still not in depth enough. But double split is the one that most game artists use. You'll see that a lot. A lot of game artists love double split, and they work with this scheme. So it's these 4 are the ones that they use the most, right? You'll see that a lot. And double split is a lot of fun. You get like this really nice kind of nuance. Really, you get a lot with medieval kind of fantasy games. I think that Dark Souls uses that a lot too. But you get that really nice kind of like contrast between these 2 colors, and it really feels like they clash against each other, but like in a really nice way, if that makes sense. Double split, too complicated. Oh, it gets worse. Don't worry. I'm just on my tablet writing down everything you put on screen because I really want to use some of these schemes someday. If you join the Discord, it'll be available as a JPEG for you to download. Oh, hello, Arcade Cubes. Welcome in. 7 p.m. Mario Load. Perfect time to sit down at your tablet. Excellent. I'm glad. Join us. Yeah, there you go. Nightbot just said so. So share your creation on the Discord communities. If you join the Discord, this will be available for you to download as a JPEG. I don't know if Netra's still in here, but she already has this because I taught this exact lesson in one of my past art mentorship classes. So she's still here and she's getting this all over again. But yeah, so double split. If I create a palette based off of this, basically half the streams are just my art mentorship classes, just taught again. In a different way, with more people. Yep, and then if I go to this orange, and I get to kind of hue shift it even more with this yellows. Yeah, so it gives it a little bit more depth, makes it feel, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do, it's M on this program, that's right. Oops. Okay. The next scheme that we're going to be talking about, so that was double split. This one is really hard to work with. I had to work with this one during school. And my prof was like, you gotta learn how to organize it. I'm like, sir, how do I organize this scheme? Jessie sound like a cult leader. Join us. Am I? I'm not. For legal reasons, I'm not a cult leader. Hello, Quarta. Welcome in. This is German saying that basically means when you teach, you learn again. So have fun learning, Jessie. I found that my work got a lot better when I became a teacher. I think I've had that said to me by a lot of other first-time teachers as well, like first-time art teachers. My old animation prof, he was like, yeah, I found that like once I actually started teaching this class, my work has started to get better. And it's because you're kind of like reviewing stuff along with your students. So it's like you're kind of understanding what's happening along with the students that you're teaching for the first time. It's like you knew this, but now you're reawakening that information and you're like, whoa, now I get it. Now I understand. Okay. So this scheme is the polychromatic scheme. This scheme sucks. I love it, but like it sucks. Polychromatic. See, I found it funny that Oz was like, oh yeah, this you could basically just like trip and fall and you'll get like a color scheme. That's pretty literally what this scheme is. It is very like I'm not kidding. This color scheme is every color under the rainbow. Or it makes a star. It makes a 6-pointed star. So a polychromatic scheme, if I was to take a look at this wheel, it would be yellow, green, cyan, blue, magenta, orange. That would be your color scheme. It'd be using all 6 of those. like right across the wheel. Studying tip I got was to explain things you learned as if you're teaching someone else. Yeah. That's why it's usually, for a lot of people, that's why they like studying with more than one person. For me, I usually rewrite my notes and that works. Or I make a little comic out of my notes and that works too. Because I learned very visually. But that was how I always studied, was I either taught it to somebody else, or if I didn't have time for that, then I'd like redraw them. Studying for art history just meant I redrew. Like, because art history tests back in high school were like, we were given like pieces that we had to memorize. So how I would do it is I would redraw that piece and make memes about it. And that was how I studied. This is the step before find out, basically. So this is the polychromatic color scheme. Makes a star on the color wheel. It's like David's star, right? You get the 6-pointed star. That's what this one is. Makes a star on the color wheel. And it uses all primaries and secondaries. Right? So this is a CMY wheel. So you have your secondaries, which are green, orange, red, orange, and blue. And then you have your... Yes? Yes. No. Indigo. Oh no. Anyway. But yeah, so you have all these, which uses all your primaries and secondaries. So this one is extremely colorful. Obviously. And tough to get right. I mean, clearly. This is how MLP chose colors. Funny thing about My Little Pony is that I found that they actually had a very good sense of color theory. Like whenever you take a screenshot from it, they are all very, very polychromatic. But the ponies themselves were very, very analogous. You notice that. If you think about any of them, they're very, very analogous. Except for Rainbow Dash. But I guess just she was like supposed to be like all those colors. But think about it, right? Pinkie Pie was very monochromatic. Applejack and Twilight Sparkle were very analogous. Fluttershy was analogous. Don't ask how I know all their names. Like, I mean, think about it. All I can think of next is like, yeah, because Trixie was also, yeah. I guess Discord was analogous too, because if you have like the red, yeah, they were all very, very analogous. Polychromatic, the color scheme, all those DeviantArt recolors used. You're so right. But yeah, a polychromatic scheme is extremely color and very, very tough to get right. And that's because the polychromatic scheme requires you to be able to balance out. You have to have a good sense of how to balance your colors out. Because if you don't, then your colors will feel like rainbow vomit. And that's like not what you want, right? So you want your colors to feel organized. And knowing how to organize your colors takes a lot of knowledge with color theory. And like balancing and your color temperatures and whatever. So Polychromatic's one of those schemes that I don't recommend using until you're like pretty familiar with your colors. And if you mix all those colors, you get key. Genius move. Actually, you don't. So if you mix all of those, you get a neutral. It's like a neutral gray. Key is a completely different interesting observation though. So that's what K stands for in CMYK. So K is key. No matter how many colors you mix on the color wheel, you will never get perfect black. That's the thing. Is because they will always have hue. Key is part of the achromatic wheel. So the achromatic wheel has no hue whatsoever. Because you're mixing a bunch of colors with hue, it will always have a hue, therefore it can never be truly key black. And that's why on printers, they have an added key, right? So they have an added ink cartridge of black, because you can never get true black just by mixing hue. There you go. There's some color theory for you. I can't even organize my life, let alone colors. If it makes you feel any better, Ian, I was barely organized before I started this stream. And for the past 3 days, anyway. I refuse to ever talk about MLP because people will find out I knew too much. I was a My Little Pony kid. So like when I was younger, like a little kid, I loved My Little Pony. When I say little kid, I mean I was like 5 or 6. I loved My Little Pony, like the original. before Friendship Was Magic. And then when I hit 13, somebody got me into Friendship Was Magic. I watched 3 seasons in 3 days. I remember that. I binged 3 full seasons. And I was like obsessed with My Little Pony for like half a year. So like I know a fair amount, but I don't know how it ended. I have some students who filled me in on how it ended. It's kind of like how my students fill me in on Genshin Impact. That's the only reason I know what half the characters are. And my friends who play Genshin. I'm like, yeah, I know them through you. It doesn't. Okay, I'm sorry. Why can't we be the one gnome from Gravity Falls? You can be the one gnome from Gravity Falls. You can be Shmebulok as much as you want, Drew. If you really want to be Rainbow Vomit, you absolutely can. I just started third digital art. Color theory is tough. If you're just starting digital and then you're just learning color theory, it's tough. Don't worry. Color theory is a rough one. Okay, we got 2 more after this. Ooh, I gotta speed up too, actually. Okay. Next one is Tetradic. This one's weird. This one's a really cool one. This one's weird. Tetradic scheme. I'm happy that you guys are very chatty today, though. I need to chat with somebody. I'm like one of those people that need to be constantly chatting, or else like I need that human interaction because I'm very extroverted. So I need that like human interaction. So it's like I'm glad you guys are chatty so I can chat with somebody. I'm a gnome. Oh, valid, yeah. You're all gnomes. Oh no, you don't understand, Drew. Ian plays a gnome in a D&D campaign. I didn't just start and it's still tough. Also true. Color theory is one of those things that take a really, really long time to understand. I'm still kind of figuring it out. Like, I know the basics, but, like, I'm still kind of, like, trucking with it. So, like, every time I draw, I try to make myself memorize what I'm doing. Same. Yeah. Gnomes. Lots of gnomes. Okay. Tetradic schemes. So, Tetradic schemes is a slightly wider double complementary. Slightly wider. So, if I took this scheme that's in front of me, right, if we took the wheel, you know how split complementary was like you pick one and then there's 2 extras on the other sides, right? This time, it creates a wider X. So if we took these colors across from each other, if you went complementary and then took their splits on either sides, that's what the tetradic scheme is. So tetradic is these funky colors on either side, right? So it's a slightly wider. There's a creature flying by my face right now. Slightly wider. Double complementary. So it's like a wider X. And this is a much more colorful and bright version. All other complementaries. So a tetradic scheme is a slightly wider double complementary, so it creates a wider X on the color wheel, right? So this is a much more colorful and bright version of all the other complementaries that we've seen previous, right? The other complementaries, I've mentioned before that complementary color schemes are like a game artist's favorite color scheme, right? You'll see it a lot with more mature games. Tetradics are what you see with more E-rated games. So if you think about it, think about the splash art for like Mario or even Kirby as well. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Yeah. It's like the splash art for Kirby. A lot of Kirby art uses this. So it's these 4 right here is what you see a lot with Kirby art. Mario uses these ones. The ones that I have circled right now are very Mario-esque. Even like Legend of Zelda, you see like the more current one. Actually, no, Breath of the Wild was very analogous. But regardless, you'll see a lot of those more E-rated games using a tetradic scheme. Because tetradics are easier to make very bright. Because they're wide enough away from each other where the contrast won't be too jarring. So it creates this nice, bright, bouncy, colorful scheme. You can leave these at almost complete max hue, and they'll still feel just okay because of how bright and bouncy they are. Like, you can leave these at almost max brightness because of how, like, cute and pretty they are. I'll have a hue shift just a little bit. Yeah. Nope. I keep on hitting L for the lasso. Yeah, on Photoshop, lasso and marquee are separate. So you have the marquee, the shape selections, and then the other ones. Tetris is what I see on my screen. Tetris is very, very polychromatic. Splatoon colors, you're so right. Splatoon is super tetradic, yeah. Creature is such a very vague thing to say. Just assume you're catching a pseudo dragon or something. It's not just a fly. It's a fruit fly. I'm sorry, it's not that interesting. Yeah, Splatoon is super polychromatic tetradic, yeah. Very, very. Can I use a gnome color scheme? I feel like a gnome color scheme would be very, very, like, split complementary. Whenever I think of Twink, I think of, like, split complementary. Just because of, like, the color. Because I want to do a really big piece with him. So I'm like... Sorry, that's very... That's me talking about my, like, more personal work. Anyway. I really want to do a big steampunk piece, though, yeah. If you're wondering. That's what I have planned. Ah, Hangman. I haven't played Hangman in a really long time. Okay, last one. This one isn't really a scheme. This one just takes a bit of explaining. So that's why I don't really need the... This is why I don't really need the wheel for this one. This one is called Discordance. Or a discordant scheme. Fruit flies will be the death of me, so true. Hello, Kamino Din, welcome in. Fruit flies will be the death. Yeah, no, I have like so many, because I have plants right in front of my monitors, so like flies like to flock around here. So I'm like, and then they're attracted to the light, so they come down here. So discordance, or a discordant color scheme. All right. I'm gonna need y'all to answer a question for me, right? So if I take this yellow. Oh, that's right, because they don't adequate. Yeah, CSP's colors are a bit different than the way that Photoshop handles them. So I'm like, that's why I'm struggling with the wheel sometimes. I'm like, oh, this is a little bit different. Because you guys, with CSP, it's not gamut controlled as much. Because Photoshop is very, like, photo heavy, so it's like they adequate for photos. Discordance doesn't mean chaos, kind of. Choosing between this yellow and purple, right? When we kind of look at this, we're obviously thinking, like, one almost flew up my nose. Oh no! Hope you're okay. Choosing between these two, right? Yellow is obviously the weaker color. If you were to blend these two together, that yellow would get lost in that purple instantly. Right? So purple in this case, or violet. Violet in this case is a much stronger color compared to the yellow. Right? We look at this violet, it's very, very strong compared to the yellow because the yellow will get washed away. Discordance is switching these two around. So if we took a discordant color scheme, we would make this yellow the stronger color and the purple the weaker one. It's switching up the color strengths. Does that kind of make sense? So when we work with a discordant scheme, I didn't know our programs do colors differently. Yeah, it's a little bit strange. It's like I find that like CSP is a little bit stronger in their vibrancy compared to Photoshop. I guess because Photoshop tries to make it a little more photorealistic. But regardless, I like this. I like this color. I know there's a way to do it in Photoshop, and I don't remember how. But yeah, so discordance is something that you add on to previous color schemes. So like what Kiara said, Kiara brought it up earlier, how the blues were overpowering the like the colder colors were overpowering the warmer colors, and that's just because that's how it would be normally. Because normally blue is a stronger color compared to these bright colors, right? But with discordance, it switches it around. So if we took this yellow hue, this is still yellow. Remember that brown is just a derivative of yellow to red, right? If we took this kind of color, and if we took our yellow and made it the stronger color compared to the purple, that becomes discordance. You could do this with any colors. It's just yellow and violet or purple are like have the strongest contrast. So it's taking value strengths. Taking the value strengths of your colors and switching them. So that's what this is called, your value strengths. So your value strengths are just how strong it is with its values, right? A lighter values, like a really, really light gray, really light colors are weaker than, say, like your blacks, right? White will not do too much to a black, like, right? So when we take our value strengths of our colors, you switch them around. So if violet generally has a heavier value strength compared to yellow, you flip it around. So then your value strength of your purple is no longer stronger than the value strength of your yellow. The screens display colors differently, even art programs. I'm not gonna know what our colors actually look like, honestly. I'm okay, just shook me to my core. Okay, I'm glad. As long as you're okay. But yeah, so that's what discordance is. And discordance isn't really something that you use separately compared to the rest of the color schemes. That's why it's like, yeah, it's there, but like, you know, it's not like a whole other color scheme. It's just something you add on to the other ones. Okay. Okay, let's see. How do I crop this? Edit. Can I just crop? Canvas properties. Change canvas size. Can I just do this like this? Can I just click and drag? Yes! Thank God. Okay. Because Medibang doesn't have that. So I'm like, please. There has to be a shortcut for that, though. I'll find it later. Okay. So that's the lesson portion for today. Hopefully that was interesting or funky for you. Oof, that leaves me with an hour and 8 minutes to draw the file, huh? Alright, that's fine. I'll live. Okay. So if you're not subscribed, if you haven't really been on this channel before, you don't know how it works, when we do our lesson portion, we have the lesson portion first, and then we do the final illustration afterwards. So this will be taking the thing that we learned today. The arrow looks like a mouth too, does it? True, it's the less than symbol. So we'll be taking what we learned today. Oops, sorry, I hit my mic. We'll be taking what we learned today and be drawing a final piece based off of it. And we also have a little... What's it called? We had a community poll to see what I would be drawing. So you guys voted on violet, I believe? Purple? Yeah, so you guys voted on violet. This is the one. So based on the color that you chose, I'm going to be choosing one of the new schemes that we learned today. So that's double split, polychromatic, or tetradic. Polychromatic, I'm just going to say I'm not going to do because, like, that wouldn't be very violet focused. I'm going to go with... Because double split would be kind of hard to work with, but I kind of want to do it. Because if I start with violet, then I have to work with green and yellow. But then if I do tetradic, then I could go like... You know what, I'm going to go tetradic, just because I think that would be kind of fun. It was really useful. I'm glad! Time to sketch 3 lines of boom liner. I actually want to paint this one, so I don't think I'll be doing liner. I should have grabbed water. I didn't grab water. So I'm just going to do this real quick, because CSP has a color history, thank God. This yeah! This is going to be my palette. I'm just going to put this off to the side. So that's this purple, that's this green, that's this yellow, and that's this blue, huh? Work with that? Sure, because then that means... Have you noticed how some of the color schemes look like the new Technicolor logo? The new Technicolor logo, I don't know what that is. The Creative Industries one? It's very polychromatic. It's literally just a rainbow. So I mean, I guess you could call it polychromatic in a way. Jessie, go grab some water, I beg. I'll be fine. I have a water bottle. There's water in there. I just haven't grabbed fresh water. Okay. We do an interesting palettes. What have I missed? Hello, Cryo. Welcome in. Yeah, you missed the lesson portion. Sorry about it. But yeah, we learned about some funky new color schemes. So this is the ones that most people know. And then we learned about 4 extra stuff. CSP has color history. It's been a very good lesson. You didn't know that? Yeah, it's got color history. It's the best. I love color history. See, Photoshop has it too, but Medibang doesn't. So I was like, every time that I draw on Medibang, I'm like, I can't reuse it. Okay, what am I gonna draw? You missed the creation of the universe. It's okay, Cryo. How often do you do streams? You don't have the notif bell on. That's all good. We do streams every Friday, at 5 p.m. Or sorry, 4 p.m. EST. No fresh water, it's only salt water. Yeah, it's almost every week. We took a 2-week break. We took a 2-week break for the holidays, but I'm back to doing it every week. So it'll be every Friday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. What am I gonna draw? I'm like trying to think with this scheme. See, my brain is telling me like leaves. I'm like some kind of like. My color history has just been my memory until now. No, no, that makes me so sad. Please draw an owl. Draws Aldrich. See, I could, but I'm trying to think of like how this scheme would work with that. Color picker, my beloved. Yeah, see, I love the color picker, but the color picker isn't always accurate, especially if you're not working on 100% opacity all the time. So it's like if you're sitting there and you're like, oh my god, draw Kirby. I can't draw more Kirby, man. I draw Kirby every week. I could do an owl. Kirby, but blue with a green sky. I'm usually bust Fridays. It's my first time. Love color theory. Love color palettes. Nice. Glad you could join, dude. I should save this file. That's a good idea. Or usually busy. Yeah, valid. This is why I'm usually busy on Fridays, is because of this stream. Fridays, and then I never have a Saturday because I'm like teaching every Saturday. You know what? Maybe I will do Kirby. Maybe I'll do like I'll work with the yellow though, because if I want to make these, I'm gonna make these two the colors that are a little bit. I'm gonna zoom out. See, CSP handles a little bit differently from Photoshop, so I'm trying to like figure out how this works. It handles so this is my normal brush set. This is the brush set that I have in Photoshop. It handles very differently on CSP. So I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be a fun time. Yeah, because it doesn't like my normal brushes on here. But like I mentioned, we're gonna be doing different programs every week for a bit. So we're doing CSP this week. I think I want to switch to Photoshop next week. And then we'll go back to Medibang for a bit, and then we'll do it again. So we'll cycle through those 3. I beg that you do Ruffle, Kirby. Spider-Man, maybe. Oh, I'm bad with Spider-Man. Ruffle, Kirby. How would that work? I'm trying to think, because now I'm like, that kind of sounds fun. Okay, I got it. I got you. Faye before this was like, "Are you gonna be drawing Kirby?" I'm like, "No, I'm not. It's not a Principles of Design stream." And she's like, "Oh yeah, you can just draw whatever you want for this one." I'm like, "Yeah." And then I end up drawing Kirby anyway. Can you say how many Kirbys I've drawn for ever since I've been alive, or like for streams? For streams, I'm not sure. Ever since I've been alive, I'm not sure. Kirby in a ruffled dress. Yeah, I'm trying to think of how this would work with the sphere. Because they put Kirby in outfits for like every anniversary. I believe for the 25th. I have the plushie for the 25th anniversary. I think it's 25th. 25th or 27th. One or the other. He has a little sailor outfit. It's really cute. Link looking in the distance. Only Kirby's. Oh, Link would have been perfect with this color scheme. Sorry, I'm switching to Link. Sorry, I'm switching to Link. Legend of Zelda would be perfect with this scheme, now that I'm thinking about it. You know what? Just to like say, you guys will do Link with Kirby. I'll do Breath of the Wild Link. This is the Link that no, you know what? I know Wind Waker Link the best, but I'll do Breath of the Wild Link for fun. See, the funny thing with this is that there's a very specific character that I can just use the exact same technique to draw him. Oh, that's top of the hour. Okay. Don't worry, I'll draw Kirby. I'll draw Kirby too. I'll just have like both of them in here. Oh no, I don't. I had to set the flip horizontal shortcut myself on Photoshop. I don't know if there's a shortcut for it on CSP. I may just not flip my canvas though, just to get like stuff done faster. Wind Waker, Link, and Kirby are both friend-shaped. They super are. I don't care what anybody says. Wind Waker is like one of the best Legend of Zelda games. I love the Wind Waker with my whole heart. You know what? Just for the sake of time, I think I'm just gonna do like head shots, just because like, or like bust shots. Just to make this a little bit easier. Oh, it didn't kill the pixels too bad. That's nice. Oh, this is the wrong. No shortcut by default? Okay, I figured. They usually never have it by default, so it's like, man. Medibang just has a button that I can click on the side. They don't have a shortcut for it. I don't think I can set it either. It's just like there. It's the same thing with the rotate. The rotate is really weird. You know, like with like any other program, like if you have this, like nudging is with the arrow keys, and Medibang, the arrow keys is your what's it called? The arrow keys are your rotate. I don't get it, but that's what it is. Being pressured by time. These are dark moments. Yeah, I spent a little bit longer on the lesson portion than I thought I would. I've only got so much time to do all these. Yeah, that's right. Okay. And I always forget that the different colors like cycle through. The different letters cycle through different tools. Hang on, can I... Why is this eraser so tiny? See, now you get to hear me complain about different programs in different ways because I'm using more than one. Listen to Jessie complain for an hour ASMR. Who would dare speak ill of the Wind Waker? I had a friend who did not like Wind Waker. I was so mad at them. Like, are you kidding me? It's like, you're a loser. How dare you? It's one of the few Legend of Zelda games I never played. I should do it. Looks fun. Wind Waker is so good. Lessons are useful though, and engaging. Super true. I love, like, I wish I was like, I took more initiative in terms of like watching tutorials and whatever. For me, I'm very much the type to like, if I see a technique that I like, I go, oh, and I stare at it for like 5 minutes. And I go, okay, I can do that, and then I try to replicate it. That's how I learn. Is 1/0. Rotating. Oh yeah, no, I don't really care about rotating. I care about like flipping the canvas horizontally. Because that's how you fix your proportions. Traditionally, with traditional artwork, artists flip their canvas upside down. There is no bad Zelda games. Some of those little weird ones. Zelda CDI. The Legend of Link is so good. No, sorry, not Legend of Link. It was the um Link of the Faces of Evil. I think that's what it's called. The Faces of Evil, something like that. Those are the best. Those rule. I love them because of how terrifying it is. I love how awful that entire thing is. So funny. I could watch a Zelda CDI playthrough for like 5 hours straight. It would be like oh my god. Yo, was that Kirby? Yeah, that's my guy. The old weird ones are a treasure. They absolutely are. Oh god, I don't know Link's outfit off the top of my head. No. Super Smash Bros. Now. Yeah, I just started drawing. This is basically now a limited palette challenge, so I'm just kind of like working with what I got. How do I draw this thing? Oh, he has sleeves. Oops, my bad. That's not how We going off of canon outfits for this one, boys. See, this is the thing. When I draw characters, it's like I draw their canon outfits maybe like twice. I might learn it for a while, and then once I have it like generally memorized, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like never draw this ever again. And then I draw them in like any other outfit. I'm a huge fan of like fashion, so it's like I'll draw them in like anything except for the canon outfit. This just happens with any characters I learn how to draw. So I've drawn Link in like every kind of sportswear imaginable, and I haven't drawn the official outfit in ages. Kirby needs like 3 lines to read as Kirby. That's good character design. If you know exactly who it is with very few lines, you're good. You're golden. Nice. There's this sketch. I love that this shortcut is exactly. Oops. I love that this shortcut is exactly the same. Wait. Yes. All right. My liner. I didn't upload my liner into CSP. My bad. I guess we'll just stick with this one then. Okay, what's more powerful? This one or this one? Ooh, that's close. I'm gonna go with the blue. New outfits are fun. Yes, they are. New outfits are always fun. I can't believe I lost the start of this sketch. It's very good. That's okay, dude. Listen, I've always learned. Oh, you know what? No, I'll go with the purple. I've always learned that like when I lose my first sketch, when I redo it the second time, it tends to look better. So it's like I tend to not see it as a loss anymore. Because then when I do it the second time, then it's like, oh, I've learned. Now I get it. It's like now I know what to do the second time, and I can do it faster now. That's how I tend to see it. Yeah, the way they handle brush size is a bit different too. Tell them I don't know how to change the smoothing on CSP, so I just work with very little stabilization because I just don't know how to change it. Or I don't remember how. I used to know how and I don't remember how. It's okay, it's fine. I need to use CSP more. I literally only use a clip for like its perspective ruler, and then sometimes it's 3D modeler. Though I use Blender. So it's like I don't always use the 3D modeler that's plugged in here. I could just model out scenes myself in Blender. Link the Faces of Evil, Zelda the Wand of Gamelon, and Zelda's Adventure will always be in my memory. So true, so good. Jesse, have you seen Spider-Man No Way Home? If you have, what did you think about it? I have not seen it, no. The fact you drag the slider to choose the brush size is also wild. That's usually how I do, because that's how you do it. Okay, there is a shortcut to do it in Photoshop, but I don't care to. What's the shortcut in CSP? A little wrench by the tool specs. Oh, you're a blessing. Thank you, both of you. Yeah, brush sizing, color jitter. Okay. Correction. Got you. Oh, my stabilization's at 2. Oh, that's why it's a little bit. I'm turning that all the way down to 0. Okay, that helps. Oh, wait. Did it save that? Yeah, it did. Stabilization, taper, sharpen, adjust by speed. There we go. Oh, good lord. Okay, thank God that's off. Oh, that feels better. Yeah, CSP's stabilization is very, very strong. In order to get that kind of stabilization on Photoshop, it would be at like 13 or 14. I have to turn off my stabilization if I want to move faster. I don't like sitting on it for too long. Brackets for brush size? Oh, wow, I'm learning so much. Thank you. You can tell I don't use this program very often. It's about I've never played a Legend of Zelda game. Never too late to start. Which one would I recommend starting with? There's a lot of really good ones. Like, Breath of the Wild is a really, really good one. People say that Breath of the Wild is like first on the timeline. But like, and then Wind Waker's like last because the entirety of Hyrule is flooded. That's what I remember anyway. I think I remember somebody saying that to me. Or did I read that? Because I have the Hyrule Compendium. It's sitting on my shelf. I don't look at it very often. Oh, you know what also? I also have the art book for Breath of the Wild. It's lovely to look through. Clip Studio's next level when you learn it. It's really great. I love Clip. Like, I love its extra... That perspective ruler has saved me hours in backgrounds. On God, it's the reason why I love drawing, like, interiors for, like, houses. It's just because, like, Clip makes it so easy. I think the reason why I tend to lean on Photoshop a little bit more is just because I like the way the brushes handle a little bit better. I like Clip for a lot of reasons. I like Photoshop for a lot of reasons. And that's why I choose to use both. Also, I need Photoshop because my dad's a photographer and we do photo editing sometimes. So I kind of need the photo editing aspects anyway. Sometimes I have to do photo editing for other personal things. So like I just have Photoshop regardless, but that's okay. I like having the ability to switch between both. Because like if Photoshop isn't working one day, then I can switch to Clip and vice versa. I like being versatile. Minish Cap. Minish Cap is so cute. I've never actually played the Minish Cap, but I read the manga. That's how I know the story of the Minish Cap. Skyward Sword is first in the timeline? Oh, and then Ocarina breaks the universe. Okay. I've never drawn in Photoshop, but I learned photo editing features in school. Yeah, I've always had access to Photoshop because my dad's a photographer, right? So it's like I've always kind of had that. Photoshop was my first digital drawing software. I know, I'm sorry. Photoshop was the first thing I drew in. I tried Psy at one point. I didn't like how Psy handled, so I didn't bother with it. Like Paint Tool Psy. I'm gonna get crucified for that. I know. I'm sorry. I don't really like how Psy handles. And then I think it was Ray. She was like, "Hey, you should try Clip Studio." And I'm like, and she was like, "It's on sale right now, so you should get it." I'm like, "Okay." So I just bought it, and I was like, I tested it out, and I'm like, it's really cute. It's really nice. It handles quite well compared to like the other programs, obviously, because like I've had to use quite a few. Like my top two are definitely like Photoshop and CSP. Thanks, no worries. Yeah, some Photoshop brushes don't transfer as cleanly as I want. There's certain texture brushes that I love that only work in Photoshop. Yeah, that's my my builder brush. This one as well does not work as nicely in Clip Studio. It looks very different in Photoshop compared to right now. My uncle gave you the collection with all the manga. It's so awesome. Yeah, which ones do I have? I have not Wind Waker. I have the Phantom Hourglass, and I have the Minish Cap. Those are the two that I have. Phantom Hourglass is a Legend of Zelda game that I never finished. I could never get past the Water Temple. All those Water Temple levels are so hard. Maybe I'll have an easier time now that I'm not, like, 12. But, like, I'm not very good at video games, so I feel like I'll still have, like, a very hard time with it. Sai was my first program and I disliked it too. It could be because I was very inexperienced, but still. Possibly. I was fairly experienced with Photoshop by the time that I tried Sai. The difference between Photoshop and Sai and all these other drawing programs is that Photoshop is a photo editor at heart. It is technically not a drawing software. Like, it was built for photo editing. So a lot of its features are very photo editing heavy, right? That's why Photoshop has, like, a gamma detector, a gamut detector. Actually, no, they just call it gamut detector. I'm pretty sure CSP has it too, but it's not there automatically. But Photoshop's is there automatically. What the gamut detector does is even if you're working in RGB, it'll tell you if the color you're working with can't be printed. So, like, if it, normally they tell you, oh, you should switch to CMYK. With Photoshop, even if you're working in RGB, it'll tell you what colors that you can't print. Just right off the bat, they'll go, hey, this cyan, you can't print that because it won't show up on the colors. And you're like, oh, okay, sick. Regardless, I have, like, a formula for when I print now. It's like, you gotta check to see how it goes. Yeah, you can import brush. It's just CSP. This is what I'm working with. This is my Photoshop brush set that I'm working with right now. It just doesn't translate very well from program to program. Gotta go. That's okay, Drew. Thanks so much for joining. There's a bunch of settings that CSP doesn't read over from Photoshop. Not a big brain enough to do anything about it myself. Just super true. I just don't bother. Like, I don't use clip enough to warrant me trying to figure it out. So I just, like, leave it. So I didn't even have a shape tool when I, like, used it. It felt like a lighter program. Oh, really? Oh, you know what? No, I lied. My very first digital program was MS Paint. I drew in MS Paint when I was, like, 8 years old. And I used a mouse. I only use the shape tools. You saying the shape tools brought me back. I only use the shape tools. I still have that folder of, like, all my old MS Paint drawings. That was a lot of fun. I remember, like, loving doing that. And then I got older, a little bit older, and, like, I stopped doing that, and then I became one of those grumpy losers. I was like, digital art's not real art, because I was jealous that I couldn't do it. And then I hit maybe, like, 14 or 13. I hit 13, and my dad's like, I watched somebody on YouTube, like, do a speed paint in Photoshop, and I was like, you can draw in Photoshop? And I'm like, my dad has Photoshop. So I asked him to download it onto my terrible little laptop at the time. And I used Photoshop CS5 to draw my silly little Pokemon drawings, and that's what I did for a few years. I was obsessed with, I still love Pokemon. I was obsessed with Pokemon when I was younger. I am very excited for Legends Arceus. Just saying. Somebody want to buy it for me? That'd be sick. I'm joking. That's a joke. I will buy it myself. Hold down and spin. Really? Oy. If Photoshop isn't meant for drawing, why is it industry standard? See, Photoshop was initially meant for just photo editing, and then people started using it for drawing. And then it became industry standard because they started to hone in on their illustrative audience. And then now it feels like they're leaning more onto their photo editing audience by comparison. You started on GIMP! Moved through whatever program I could find for free. Oof! Yeah. I have a friend who worked on GIMP. She was like, Jess, you're gonna hate me. I was like, why? And she's like, I started using GIMP. And I'm like, what for? And she's like, to draw. And I'm like, girl, do you know how many other good drawing programs you could choose from? There's Krita is sitting right there. I don't like Krita. I'll say that right now. I don't like Krita. I don't like using it. But I know that it's good. It's just Krita is very, very different compared to, like, every other drawing program that I've used. So it's like, I don't like the way that it handles. But I know that Krita is good. So it's like, I don't hate it that much. It's like, Krita was around at that point. I'm like, this is high school. I know that she had Krita. It was right there. Krita was right there. Medibang was right there. Autodesk Sketchbook was right there. all these other really good free drawing programs. I'm like, girl, you chose GIMP. Regardless, here's my tea, right? Here's my deal, right? I don't care what program you use. The thing is that like people put so much pressure on like what program you should be using. There's a lot of like good programs, a lot of bad programs. At the end of the day, it is personal preference. Whatever you decide to use is up to you. Like if you decide to stick with Photoshop, great. If you decide to stick with CSP, great. Because really the program does not make the artist. It's the artist that makes the program. If you're not good at drawing, you can't draw on whatever. It doesn't matter what program you choose. That sounds kind of harsh, but like, you know. Forgot about GIMP. My dad heard about it and didn't have to say it before I got it. I had no idea how to use it with all the windows. Oh no! Started with MS Paint like 6 years ago and moved to Krita and figured out how much the program I used mattered about CSP since it was on sale. Nice. It really doesn't matter. Krita's pretty good, but all the functions are so weird. Never worked my hand. Yeah, for sure. I tried Krita a couple times. I could never get used to it. My first program was Manga Studio 4 debut. To say that program was a person, I'd be in jail. It made me so mad. Yeah, Manga. I've never heard of that one. Manga Studio 4. I started on GIMP, but I mostly use Aspirite? Aspirite? I've never heard of that one either. Wait, hang on. I'm sorry. Hang on. I'm gonna switch cameras for a second. I need to show you what I learned how to do, okay? I learned how to stitch blankets. Hang on. I need to show you. Hang on, sorry. This is going off topic. I don't care. Look at this blanket. Hi, my face. Look at this blanket that I stitched the other day. It's so sick. It's so comfy. Like, I sat here for like 2 hours and I was like, actually, I had to go back and get yarn for it. But like, I'm in love with this thing. It's so soft, but hi, my face. I needed to show you what this blanket looked like because it was like my favorite thing of all time. It is my favorite thing of all time. I have like been sitting in this thing every single day. It's been like my favorite thing ever. Okay, now we're going back. Sorry, I needed to show my blanket for a second. I think the program does matter, also the hardware. From a specific point onward, you need better stuff, I believe. Yeah, especially if you're going to be working in the industry, yes. If you're a hobbyist, it literally does not matter. If you're just doing this for fun, then it doesn't. Nobody cares. Nice. Hello, Gigi. Welcome in. Blanket is so cute. It's the best. It's the best. I've been like... Sorry, no. I can't say that. That's too TMI. But it's the best. The blanket is so good. It looks so soft. It's super soft. It's super soft. Yeah, hello, that was my face. I needed to show you my blanket. That's just I had to it was so like it looks super soft. Yeah, I used Burnett yarn and like hand stitched it because I didn't want to learn how to use needles. So I was like, okay, I know you can hand stitch a blanket. So I went to go hand stitch it, and it was like the best decision I've made in so long. This is the year. My New Year's resolution is literally just to get new skills because like I'm kind of a one-trick pony, so I'm like I kind of want I want to learn new things. I had music for a while, but I'm like I kind of want to learn new things. So I want to start sculpting again. I want to learn how to work with resin. I want to make a doll. I really want to sculpt a doll, guys. Love it. I should learn by stitching someday. Love any kind of handicraft. I'm building miniatures right now. Nice. Yeah, the yarn was on sale, so I was like, you know what? Whatever. I'm gonna learn how to use this. I'm gonna have to turn this off for a second. Never mind, I'm turning it back on. Hello? Okay, hang on. It's a cool blanket. Yeah. The first program I used for coloring was Corel Draw 4, the move to Photo Paint, GIMP, Photoshop, and now CSP. Yeah. It's so true. He's so true, King. 100% agree. That was our blanket recap for today's stream. Yes, absolutely. Next stream, I'll have a completely new one. No. Honestly, it was pretty expensive to make, so I understand. Well, I guess it was only expensive because I chose like I think I chose like one of the most expensive blanket yarns you could get. Not intentionally. I just kind of chose the softest looking one, and I was like, yeah, I'll pick that one. And then I realized that I could get this balls of yarn for like 2 times cheaper, and I was like, oh, oops. Even though they were on sale, I could have gotten cheaper ones. It's okay. I'm kind of impulsive. This is why I don't play Genshin, because if I did, I don't have the wallet control. So I'm refusing to play like any gacha. I refuse to play because I do not have the wallet control. The thing is with gachas, I am very like I've seen all the designs of these characters. They are beautiful. I have not seen a character that I do not like the look of, and that's the issue. Because if I play a gacha where I want every character, my brain will tell me, no, 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 you have no choice. You are gonna get this character. So Lord knows, Lord knows that a gacha will make me broke. So I've chosen for my own safety just not to play. Like this is what self-regulation looks like, kids. It's not allowing yourself to play any gacha games for fear of losing your hard-earned money. Good God, what time is it? That's a half hour. Hey, you know what? If we're doing this in flats, that's not too bad. I said I wanted to paint this one, but I don't think I would have had time regardless. I guess it depends on what I was drawing. I came in with this to the stream without an idea, really, so. I have stayed strong. I need to get an award for having self-control for the first time in your life. Super true, honestly. I have the worst wallet control. I don't think Ray is still in, but if she is. The thing is like I will literally like sometimes I'll text her in the middle of the night and I'll go, hey, look at what I found. She'll have to tell me no. It's like talking down a dog. She'll be like, no, you're not buying that. I'm like, why not? Nice. This bow is super off. I'll fix it later. It's fine. No, it's gonna bother me. I'm gonna fix. No. Cancel. I'm gonna fix that because it's gonna bother me if I don't fix this. Oh, did I merge those layers? My bad. That makes sense. I was like, what did I do? Ah, now I know how to use the keys. I don't know why I just don't use shortcuts. It doesn't matter what program I'm using. I rarely use shortcuts. I'll always go to the tools on the side. It's so inefficient. That's a tangent. That's fine. Anchors my head. Twists my entire body. I will never play a gacha game again after this. Valid. You've seen Kirby with a knife, now introducing Kirby with a bow. Yes. Give Kirby all the weapons. Honestly, Kirby is probably the craftiest weapon user. Let's get real here. My guy just transforms into anything. It's just like, yeah. It's like, yeah, this paintbrush, weapon now. What? You wanted me with the paintbrush to use it as a paintbrush? No, sir. I will be drawing a fridge to get health back. That's Painter Kirby. My love of Kirby extends years. You don't understand. Good call. I play a lot of gachas because I know I won't spend a cent. The day I feel the temptation to buy something in a gacha is the day I'll stop playing them. Valid. Yeah, no, I don't have that kind of wallet control. I am the Impulse City. I'm the queen of Impulse. Genshin will be my first and last gacha game because I'm about to start earning regular money and I don't trust myself. That's super valid. You know what? That makes a lot of sense. Like, if you just like, yeah, no, I just, nope. You gotta dip or else it's over. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bothers me the number of times I said that while drawing. Yeah, sometimes one of the biggest lessons that I had to learn when I was in college, like game art college, was like you gotta like good enough is better than perfect is the one thing they always drilled into us. They're like, listen, sometimes you just will not get that thing perfect, and you just gotta live with it. You're like, yeah, sometimes it's just not gonna happen, dude. I don't like. I'm a fairly heavy perfectionist, so like having to learn that was tough. Oh, CSP just got liquefied too, huh? I could liquefy this, but I'm like, I'll just fix it manually. The anatomy is definitely wrong, but I'm like, we'll pretend that it's not. Ooh, can I do the same trick that I usually do? Ooh. Yes? Yes? Oh, let's go. Can I expand this? Expand by 2 pixels. Ooh, same one. Let's go. Paint bucket, please. Oh, this wasn't... I also needed to fix this. Oops. Oh, that's the wrong layer. That's why. Yeah. I'm so excited for the new Kirby game. Same. I'm so slow at drawing that I need to use shortcuts to save any time that I can. I am like, I live by speed. Every year when I'm like, what do you want to improve on when you draw? I want to get faster. Okay, I'm not fast enough. It's like, you think I'm fast? No, no, no. I want to get faster. I live by speed. With enough harsh focus, I can do a lot of things in 2 hours. What did you do with the expand pixels? Strong looks so good, thank you. It's a little bit funky, but I'll live with it. What I do with the expand pixels, okay. So how I really quickly color in my flats is I'll take the magic wand tool, I'll select out all the negative space on my line art layer, I'll create a new layer underneath. But with that selection, obviously I have to inverse it. Or no, I expand it first. So with my selection on the outside, then I go to select, expand selected area. I expand it by 2 pixels, so it goes into the line art. Then I inverse it with Control-Shift-I, and on the layer below, then I paint bucket in just a single color. And then I can alpha lock this layer. Is it control transparent? Yeah, lock transparent pixels. Okay, so it's lock alpha on Photoshop, because that's the game artist term. But lock your alphas. But on everywhere else, it's like lock transparent pixels. So like now I can't color outside the lines. Yeah. So the funny thing is that I chose these colors because I'm like, yeah, I can like mess around with it a little bit. But now I'm like, these guys were blue, weren't they? Yeah, they are. The fact that other art programs don't have closed gaps in the magic wand is a tragedy. Yeah. For Photoshop's magic wand, it's tolerance. So if you have your tolerance set to 0, it's like very harsh with what it chooses. But like if it's like, sometimes you just can't avoid it. You're like, dang, guess I'll die. That's a Photoshop method. This can work in any program. This works in any program. How do you lock pixels in CSP? There's a little thingy here. It looks like a checkerboard. Lock transparent pixels. CSP is a subtool where you can marquee an area. It fills in all the line art itself. I don't know how to use it, but it's cool to see. Yeah, Photoshop has that too, but I never use it. It's the fill. Like if you just kind of like, if you select it, then you can just like, there's a shortcut instead of using Paint Bucket. I don't remember what it is, and I never use it. I probably should, but I don't. There's a lot of things I should probably use, and then I just choose not to. I really am like the most inconvenient artist ever. It's like, yeah, I should probably learn that. I won't though. I will eventually. Just like, let me live. We're gonna want to do some funky stuff with the shading today. I do want to work celled still, but I want to do some funky stuff. This is a cute one though. It's like, it's a little bit wacky, but it's fine. Thank you, Norris. I definitely could have used like the paint bucket here. I could use the paint bucket in a lot of areas. You know what though? My line art's really broken up for this one. I probably shouldn't, because I'm assuming that it won't work completely well. Now here's the kicker. What color do I use for Kirby? I'm kind of thinking that I should probably stick with this yellow, but also like I don't want him to look too similar to Link. I could use the purple, because then like... Close back area scaling for multiple. Yes, okay. Is there a thing for color margin? Ah, there we go. This is how I learn things. I just kind of like tap around. I'm like, let's see if that works. It's like, guesswork. It's like, that probably works. We'll see. Hope it does. This looks so cute. Thank you. That's why you don't use shortcuts. You need to be nerfed somehow. I just nerf myself constantly. I do it to myself. Yeah, my nerfing, my nerf is incompetency. That's my nerf. Yeah. Oh, what am I doing? I literally have the shortcut right here. I'm like, I'm like, gotta scroll up or else I can't change my brush size. Yes? No. I kind of like it without it, but I also then need to change this color. I have to press the gradient tool twice. Ooh, it does that funky thing, huh? Yeah, Photoshop does the same thing. It's so annoying. It's fine. Paint bucket's not perfect. See, I'm doing an easier version of this challenge with my students. Whenever I give them like, hey, we're doing the limited color palette challenge today. They hate it whenever I say that. But I'm like, hey, we're doing limited color palettes today. I force them. They're not allowed to change the value or the hue, like the value of the value or saturation of the colors that they have. They have to use whatever's there. It's like they're not allowed to switch it whatsoever. Which is like probably kind of mean, but like it's a good exercise. Trial and error, the way to learn. Could get one of those artist keyboard covers that have all the shortcuts printed on it. Is that a thing? See, I customize my shortcuts though, so like I don't know if it'll work, but just writes on all of my keys. Like, yeah. This is your brush. Obviously, I have more shortcuts memorized on Photoshop because like that's the thing that I use mostly. See, the fun thing about choosing this palette with Link is that he is already mostly these colors, so I don't have to change too much. Oopsie doopsie. Okay. Can I do this? Ooh! Genius. Not bad, CSP. Okay, I see you. You still didn't color in these little lines, though. It's okay. Oh, you know what? Hang on. Let's try something. This is me just learning. I'm learning on color immersion. Let's make this lighter. Ah, that helps a little bit. They still didn't really get the major lines though. That's okay. I can fix that myself. No paint bucket is perfect. I've never met a paint bucket that worked 100% of the time. It's close enough. That's what matters. Let's lock this real quick. I've realized that in university, they give you a lot of limited color palette assignments. They go like, hey, when you're drawing this, you're not allowed to use this, this, and this. I swear half of my assignments were like, yeah, you can draw this, but you're only allowed to use black, white, and one other color. Haven't figured out the paint token tool. Anything you're looking forward to this year, whether it's games, movies, or books, like every single Nintendo game that's coming out this year, I swear, I'm like, I'm gonna play all of them. I really want that new Kirby. I really want the new Legend of Zelda. I really want the new Splatoon. Those all look really cool. I don't think it's Nintendo. Well, it's releasing on a Nintendo console, but I really want the new Bayonetta. God of War 5. Oh my god, I'm gonna lose my mind. I love God of War. God of War 5. I'm gonna like lose it. Super excited for that one though. What else am I looking forward to? Well, I had a concert in February, but I don't know if it's still going on. I guess it's not. Man. The concert's for Caravan Palace, if you're wondering. If you know anything about electronic swing, it's Caravan Palace. They make good music. Just saying. I can't sing any of it because of demonetization, but good time. It's a good time. Same. Yeah. This is amazing. Thank you. And welcome in, Gaha. I got a Bluetooth keyboard so I can use the hotkeys for CSP. Love it. Love it. See, I work from a desktop, so my keyboard isn't Bluetooth, but it's right here next to me on my desk. I have a drop keyboard. Yeah, Caravan Palace. I got tickets to their concert that's coming, but I'm like, I don't think it's happening still, guys. Considering the circumstances, they haven't told us anything, so I'm like, oh, this is the wrong. Oops. There we go. So if you notice, I've been using the same hue this whole time. The only thing that's been changing is the saturation value. So I've just been hue shifting everything this whole time. What about Caravan Palace? I have tickets to their concert coming up. Hello, Riley. Welcome in. I love Miracle. Miracle is an amazing one. I think my favorite is Comics. I love Comics and I love Plume. Those are two of my favorite songs. Oh, this should have been green. This should have been green. Oh no, that's right. It's this one that should have been kind of greeny. Come on. What I love about CSP is that it responds to every single one of the shortcuts that are programmed into my tablet. Medibang doesn't do that, so I have to use the spacebar for movement, but like to pan across the thing. But on CSP, it recognizes it, so I can use just the little button that's on my tablet. So if you're wondering what this little top left corner up here, every single time that I use it, it's me clicking the button on my tablet. I could have used the paint bucket here too. Man, I swear it's for streams. It's because I'm like programmed to think in Medibang, because Medibang would not be able to close up these gaps. How did you choose the values with the original color palette? So it's kind of just approximating. When I look at it, I'm like, the thing with Link is like it's exactly the same. So there's like nothing different. With Kirby, it was mainly just kind of going like, okay, what's the most powerful color? What's the least powerful color? And I'd work from there. The only reason I worked with purple with him was because like I didn't work with purple anywhere else. I kind of want to switch back to yellow though, if that's my issue. So like it doesn't really feel like it works. All right, so like right now, like this wristbands are like pretty well the exact same color, and then it's just like a darker green slightly. I find that I'm like pretty good at color picking with my eyes, so it's like I tend to just kind of approximate. It gives me a bit of 3D-ness to match the curve of the forearm. And then there's a funky little thingy on the inside. Whoopsie doopsie. Wrong window. The joys. And this would normally be like a redder color, but I don't have a red available to me. I hope you can't hear my brother through the wall. He's being kind of loud. Like, I can hear it, but like my headset mic shouldn't be able to pick it up. I use a lav mic, but once I get an actual mic, I don't know. Maybe I should get an actual mic, but I don't know where to put it. There's no room on my desk. Oh, you have Microsoft Surface Pro 7, so it's touchscreen with detachable keyboard. Can't use hotkeys without the keyboard. Yeah, no, I use the Surface Pro 7 too. My Surface I only use for travel though. So I did a really big, like, 33-page comic thing recently. I had to take my working files with me everywhere. Like, we had gone to Niagara. And, like, I was drawing in the car. Like, I'm lining in the car. I was lining in the car. I was lining at the hotel. I was lining on the way back. I lined at a mall. What did I do? I lined at the breakfast bar. I got back home and got, like, more half of the lining done. And then I lined all the next morning. The joys. I only use the tablet buttons by accident. Really? It's like I've been programmed to use them because I've been using the same tablet since I was like 16. So it's like been a long time since I've used this thing. This thing is a tank. This Wacom is a tank. I've been using the same Wacom, like, oh god, I don't know what number this one is. This is like this is Wacom. Oh, sorry, Cintiq 13 HD. This is the one that I use. I kind of want to change the Kirby colors, and then I can use the purple for the background and the shading, actually. I'm a genius. Okay, let's fix this then. Excusez-moi. Oy vey. That feels better. Yeah, that feels better. And then I can experiment a bit. Actually, I still need to do the bow. Whoops, I totally forgot that thing existed. I also forgot to erase part of the line work. My bad. Don't worry, I can't hear your brother over my own, who is also being loud in the car. In a car? Yes, sir. I was lining in a car. Honestly, okay, hang on. This is how I learned how to get faster. So for those of you who don't know, I've talked about this on stream before, but the reason, like, I've gotten faster, there's a couple techniques that I use. So one of the techniques was I learned how to draw. I would take my sketchbook on buses. It would be on a bus, and I would do life studies of the person on the bus. So not only was I drawing on a bus, but I also worked with materials that I couldn't erase. My favorites were brush pen and ballpoint. So I used a lot of ballpoint, I used a lot of brush pens. And I would draw the people on the bus. Now, not only is it good figure practice, but you're also drawing these people on the bus. They're your life drawing figures, but you don't know how long they're going to be sitting there for. So, like, you have to draw quick, or else your life drawing person might be gone the next second you look up. So it's very much like, it's very, very timed, and you don't know what your timer, how much time you have. So you have to be, like, really, really adamant about how fast you're being. So, like, that would mean that I would have to draw these figures without erasing in, like, I'd usually give myself 30 seconds. Usually I'd have more time than that, but that kind of taught me how to get the whole figure down in, like, 30 seconds or less. And then it also taught me how to do stuff without needing to erase very often. So I know I don't really need to use undo as often. I don't really need to use the eraser as often, so on and so forth. That kind of stuff. There are artists who have been using the same Wacom bamboo for like 12 years. They're the Nokia of art, basically. Gosh, Wacom bamboo. You know what? My brother's been using the same bamboo for a really long time. They are tanks. They are pretty intense tanks. Could use purple for shadows, only suggesting you can ignore me. Oh, I was gonna. Don't worry. I was already gonna do that. That's the kind of funky thing I wanted to try. I wanted to try working with purple for the shadow, so let me turn off. Yeah, there we go. Let me actually, let's just play around with this for a second. Me just figuring out what color this should be. I could make this a gradient, but I also don't want to. Back when we were in high school, Ray and I would joke that we were like the opposite artists all the time. So I would always be like, because I really loved lining. She hated lining. She still hates lining. I really hated coloring at the time. She loved coloring. She loves coloring. So it was always like, I always joked like, hey, if we ever open a studio, I'll do all the line work, you do all the coloring, easy. It's like we make one perfect person. Okay, what was I gonna do? Yeah. How do I make a clipping mask? What's a layer setting? Clip layer below. Nice. Okay. You learn by making things as inconvenient for yourself as possible. Yes, basically. But hey, you know what? That worked. It worked. I trained myself pretty well. I still love using pen as a medium. I don't get to do it as often anymore, but man, it's cool. It's super fun. That's a suggestion I give most people, is like go on a bus. Well, I guess I can't tell you to go on a bus nowadays, but I go like, hey, go on a bus and then like learn from your observation. It's also just good to draw from observation. I love doing line work traditionally, still figuring out line work digitally. I love both. It is very tough traditionally or digitally for sure, especially if you're used to traditional work. Digital lining is really, really tough. Just because of like it's a different like it's a different feeling. I remember trying digital line work for the first time. I was losing my mind because I couldn't handle the I couldn't handle the tablet properly. It's really tough, especially if you're switching from one to the other. So it just takes practice. Takes practice. You get used to it over time. They did the 2000X He-Man cartoon. Oh, the original. Valid. Their powers come back to become the artist. The artist. The only artist ever. Rembrandt better run. Bought a come for his title. Every non-artist uses Picasso as their example. It's like, oh, you're like a Picasso, buddy. I don't draw like Picasso. I take it as a compliment regardless, but I don't draw like Picasso. I do like Picasso's work, but I am not a cubist. Unfortunately, I'm not that creative. I missed a lot. That's okay, Aku. You can always watch it again. The live stream replay will always be up immediately afterwards. Trying's fabulous. I like it. Thank you. I'm gonna be real. I find this one a little bit janky. I should have done, like, part of me is like, I wish I did more, but it's okay. It's rare that here's my, I said it before, but it's rare that I actually do like a piece that I've done on stream, so I'm like, yeah. There's some pieces that I really like that I did off of stream. There was one that I did a while ago that was like one of my characters. It was like a digital painting, and that one was a lot of fun to do, and it turned out pretty sick. So I was like, I really like that one. Oops, this is wrong. There's a couple pieces that I did on stream that I liked. I don't remember which ones exactly off the top of my head, but if I look at them, I'll know which ones. Well, obviously there was that one Grayson page that I did partially on stream. I did end up editing it afterwards, though. Hello. You're like Picasso when he was 20. True. Yeah. Early Picasso artwork. That's a good way to think of it, actually. Just referring to Picasso in his earlier years. I'd prefer that my work gets compared to Francis Bacon's work. I love Francis Bacon. He wasn't a great person, but his work was great. I'm a pretty firm believer in separating the art from the artist. So I love Francis Bacon's work. I don't really love Francis Bacon himself. He was kind of problematic. That's kind of putting it lightly, I think. But I think more mess up things happened to him than mess up things that he did. But Francis Bacon, by the way, he was a contemporary painter. He was never really part of a movement. He just kind of did his own thing. But it was so unique that he got famous for being like an individual, you know, very different from the crowd that was happening around him. Here's the kicker. Do I change this to a multiply? No, because if I do, then it like removes the challenge of the limited color palette. What I do with traditional line work is with a mechanical pencil, make one side pointy on the other end flat, turn the pencil depending on where I want thickness. Ah. Oh, so you don't line with a pen? Interesting. And because usually line work is like, you know, oh my god, line work is usually like, you know, with like a pen. So I was like, oh, you don't line with a pen? Problematic fave, basically. Currently drawing a new sketchbook. Excitement. Yes, let's go. So glad you said this will be posted as I'm new to Clip Studio Paint and really need to learn everything I can. I definitely need to learn about color. Great stuff. Thank you, Whisper Signal. I'm glad you find this. Good. We do have an actual Clip Studio tutorial. I didn't make it. It was Alyssa. So if you want to actually check that out, we do have that one. Because she used Clip Studio way more than I did. I'm actually, you know what I'm going to do? Okay, let's see here. Brush size of the color jitter shape. Sorry, I'm just kind of going through these settings real quick. How strange. I don't know how this works. Okay. I'm gonna test some things. Kind of works. Not really, though. Trying to work a bit graphically for this one. That's all. I guess I'll just do the harder tone version of this. Cool, thanks. No worries. Norman Rockwell was a whole can of snakes when I looked into him. A lot of old artists are iffy people. Yeah, totally. Norman Rockwell was really, really rough. I did like his, like, what he stood for in a lot of his pieces, but, like, yeah, definitely, like, that era, a bit wonky. I do love Norman Rockwell's work, though. Gosh, it's so nice. One artist that I really, really love, just kind of inside and out, is Keith Haring. I just really like Keith Haring a lot. From what I've seen, he's not problematic. I could be wrong. But Keith Haring, I did like the message that Keith Haring kind of went out with. Picasso was really problematic. I love Keith Haring, though. Another person who I think is problematic, but is still pretty cool, was, like, his work was cool, Andy Warhol. I like Andy Warhol's work a lot. There was an exhibit in Toronto recently. with Andy Warhol. I went to that exhibit a couple times. That exhibit was so cool. Or if I'm drawing with a mechanical pencil, go both pen. Oh, okay, okay. That makes sense. I like if when I line traditionally, I tend to use brush pens. So I tend to just kind of like. I used to use. Well, actually, it depends. If I'm working with really fine work, then I work with microns. But if I'm working a little bit more loosely, then I'll work with a brush pen. Okay. What do you think about Brito? I don't know what that is. Since I never did proper art, I never really looked into old artists very often. That's valid. Yeah, art history is not for everyone. When I was younger, I hated art history. I think I only really got into art history. Like, I'm still not a huge art history aficionado. I think that I just like it. I'm not, like, huge into it. But, like, I'm also, like, I really only care about art history 1600s and up. Like, I love the Baroque period, and that's as, like, I love Baroquean artwork. I love Baroquean artwork. But that's as old as I'm getting, and then everything else before that, I'm like, I don't care. I love Baroquean artwork though. Like I love the intense values and the contrast of it. It's so cool. It's so good. When you say problematic, no. So problematic is just like what they did, like the stuff, the actions that they took and whatever. I think about Burrito. I don't know who that is. James Baxter. I don't know who that is either. Oh, he's an animator. What did he animate? Oh, he did Curious George. That's my childhood. I didn't know that. I don't really know anything much about animators. I'm sorry, I'm not an animator. There was an Andy Warhol floor in the museum here, and as a kid, I thought the soup cans were just random posters unrelated to art. Yeah, that's valid. Microns aren't waterproof? No. I liked Picasso's art before he did Cubism. It's a painting of a circus troupe that's brilliant. Yes, that's a really nice one. Early Picasso was really, really nice. His blue period was an exhibit that was near here once, recently. I think it's still going on. It'll end pretty soon, but I know it's still going on. I went like on opening day. It wasn't as cool as the Andy Warhol one, but it was pretty funky. All right, though. With that, though, that is 6 o'clock, so that means that we are. I also finished this. I might do some edits later. We'll see. But that's gonna do it for this stream, y'all. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah. So before I leave, though, gotta talk a bit about the studio. So again, this piece that's right in front of you. Actually, no. Sorry, I've completely forgotten how to do this. Shout out. Anyway, if you don't know too much about the studio, never been here before, first time here at Wayne Canvas, hi, welcome in. We're not just a YouTube channel though, we're also an art studio. We do classes. If you'd like to check out the classes that we offer, be sure to check them out on the website. I am one of the instructors. Classes start this week, but you can always just enroll in the middle of them because they're different every single week. So if you'd like to check out the classes that we offer, be sure to check them out on our website. There's also blogs, other resources there for you. This file that you see in front of you, this illustration, and the lesson will both be available on the Discord as JPEGs if you'd like to check out the Discord. Over there, I upload all of the live stream artwork onto there for you to download, keep saved, do whatever you want with. Just do not repost it, but it's all yours. Especially the lesson portion. I really highly recommend that you download them. All yours. But if you'd like all of the stuff with my layers, so that's going to be, there's a fair amount of, yeah, there's a fair amount of layers on this one. So if you'd like to check out all of my working files, you're going to have to join our Patreon. For as little as $5 a month, you can get all of my working files every other week. There'll be a working file uploaded every other week. You get 2 per month. If you have it's $5 is 1 per month. I don't remember what 2 per month is, but $5 you get a working file per month. 1 working file every 4 weeks, I believe. Yeah, 3-4 weeks. And then you get behind the scenes every other week, so you can learn a bit about the studio. But yeah, all right, y'all. That looks brilliant. Thank you, Chipster. What's next week? I straight up do not remember. Oh, it's the animal stream. Okay, so next week is going to be the animal Q&A. So next week, if you have any questions about how to draw animals, any kind of fundamentals, I will be teaching them. So if you ever wanted to learn how to draw the different legs, if you ever want to learn wings, if you ever wanted to do all that fun jazz, we'll be doing a live Q&A. So if you have any questions specifically for animal illustration, I will be doing a live Q&A and illustration demonstration for you for everything that you ask me. We did one for people recently. So if you'd like to check out how that one worked, we can definitely do that. You can do that as well. But that's what we are going to be doing for next week. But yeah, thank y'all so much for joining this stream, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye bye.